This video briefly introduces a compact low-profile hybrid mode patch antenna with intrinsically combined self-decoupling and filtering properties. It could be regarded as a combination of two types of radiators, a rectangular patch radiator and an inverted F radiator. Compared with the conventional microstrip antenna, the developed antenna exhibits a good filtering response with two radiation nulls and possesses intrinsic self-decoupling property. Two types of two-element arrays are designed. Compared with the referenced two-element microstrip array, two dual-element arrays with array elements operating at the same band or at adjacent bands has been improved by at least 8.2 dDs or 7.4 dDs respectively. Its equivalent circuit model and the simulated S11 are provided. The inverted F radiator alone exhibits an inverted F radiation mode at 4.09 GHz. The rectangular patch radiator alone exhibits a TM01 patch mode at 4.15 GHz. The developed antenna combines these two modes together. The understanding of the filtering and self-decoupling mechanisms of this antenna was developed using simulation tools and analytical methods. First, there is no filtering response in antenna 1 as anticipated from. It only has one resonant mode. Second, when an open-ended stub resonator is introduced into antenna 2, a deeply attenuated radiation null at the upper band edge is generated. Third, when a second longer open-ended stub is loaded in antenna 3, an additional deep radiation null appears at the lower band edge. Meanwhile, a new resonance is observed below the resonance of the original patch mode. Based on the above, adding one short-ended and one open-ended stub resonators to realize an inverted F antenna. When the inverted F radiator illuminated by an EY field in a parallel waveguide, a rejection band is established. Meanwhile, the surface current strength gets reduced beneath the inverted F radiator, since it serves as a decoupling isolator. The optimized self-decoupling filtering antenna and two dual-element arrays were fabricated and measured. It is clear that the measured results are in good agreement with their simulate values. In summary, for multi-antenna systems, a self-decoupling filtering antenna is employed to realize a high isolation level of two dual-element arrays with element operating at the same band or at adjacent bands without additional decoupling structure. In the future, we plan to increase the decoupling bandwidth to over 10%.
Hello everyone. A single layer, dual-band, dual-sense, circularly polarized patch antenna array with small frequency ratio is presented in this video. Figure 1 shows the geometry of the proposed array antenna, and the antenna is implemented in a single layer substrate. A new antenna element is proposed. 4 non-radiative resonators are placed at 4 sides of the square patch. Figure 2 shows the topology of the proposed antenna element. The square patch is resonant at the frequency of F0. 4 non-radiative resonators are coupled to the square patch at 4 sides. The resonant frequencies of non-radiative resonators are F01 and F02. A feeding line is connected to the corner of the square patch. A design method based on equivalent circuit model is proposed. The far-field components are mapped to the excitation voltage of the equivalent circuit. Then, the circuit parameters can be calculated, and axial ratio response can be predicted. As a result, the magnitude ratio, phase difference, and axial ratio response under different parameters can be calculated and analyzed. At last, a 2 plus 2 element array operating at 2.4 and 2.68 GHz is designed, fabricated, and measured. At 2 frequency bands, The measured realized gains are 11.7 and 11.8 dBi. In conclusion, the proposed antenna array features of easy design of the feeding network and full integration on a single substrate. A quantitative design method is proposed, and aspect ratio response can be predicted. Small frequency ratio is achieved. That's all. Thank you for your attention.
Hello, everyone. In this video, we will present our research and describe the main work about the dual resonant wideband microstrip annular sector patch antenna with increased backfire radiations. Firstly, we will introduce the evolution of the Eigen equation. Our idea stems from the traditional microstrip leaky wave antenna. For an infinite straight leaky wave antenna, its Eigen equation can be derived. We truncate a small segment from the straight leaky wave antenna and bend the truncated case simultaneously. Then the configuration and the Eigen equation of the annular sector patch antenna are attained. Therefore, once truncated, the continuous spectrum of the microstrip leaky wave antenna will evolve into the discrete one to yield a resonant microstrip patch antenna. Secondly, we will introduce the mode synthesis approach. The design process is initiated from the simplest, straight, symmetric prototype magnetic dipole antenna. By conformally mapping the prototype magnetic dipole antenna into the outer edge of the annular sector patch, to a state, I-mated formulas of the normalized outer radius can be obtained. Then, the mode gauge relationships of the annular sector patch antennas are tabulated in the table. As highlighted line of the table, the difference between the normalized outer radius estimated is less than 0.1. When L is 1 lambda, the first low-order resonant mode can be excited. For a dual resonant, wideband design, the second low-order resonant mode would be the next usable resonant mode. Finally, we will introduce the enhanced backfire radiation. The surface current and magnetic current density distributions of two resonant modes are graphically shown. Thus, the paired slits are introduced near the nodes of the second low-order resonant mode on the periphery, so as to effectively excite and properly tune it downward the first low-order resonant mode to form a wideband operation under dual-mode resonance. Next, a designed prototype antenna is fabricated and measured. As shown in picture, the measured bore sight and backfire gains and efficiency agree quite well with the simulated ones. Meanwhile, owing to its property as inherited from truncated microstrip leaky wave antenna, the antenna exhibits substantially increased backfire radiation performance with measured gain up to 4 dB within the bandwidth. Therefore, it would be a promising prototype design in future development of vehicle-to-everything communication antennas. Thank you for your watch.